Right, we're live. Okay, we're getting underway. Hopefully we'll see a few people come in. Hey, I can see Murray come in there. How's it going? Hey team, people gathering in the room. Okay, oh hey, there's a few love hearts coming in. Welcome, welcome. All right, who's coming in there? Oh, Ruud, yes. Murray Dora from Poland. Hi. Nicholas, bonjour from Paris. Hello, Dora. Hi. Mariango. Manish, hello. Christine. Sydney. Berlin. Dublin. Good morning. Vincent. Hello from India. Andorra. Bonjour. Welcome everybody, welcome. Dubai, oh there's Dubai coming in. Oh, namaste from India. Buongiorno from Italy. Melbourne, g'day, across the ditch there. And Borneo, nice. Who have we got? California, Singapore, Bon dia. Wow, we are global, we are worldwide. We're coming in. Kia ora, Pamela from New Zealand. Morning from Gloucestershire, South Korea, Congo. Fantastic. Languedoc, France, Wales. Oh, coming in. Oh, Chicago. Listen, this is great, guys. Thank you for taking the time to join this live. We've got a great program today. Switzerland, Austria. And okay, coming in. Now you see me looking to this side because I'm actually looking at my screen as well as my phone. So let's so don't be too distracted if I'm looking this way, glancing at who's coming into the room. And there's Portland, Oregon, Finland. Fantastic. Jaya, hello, Amit. Thank you for the hearts. It's really heartening to see so many hearts. Namaste from India, from Italy. Yes. Now I'm coming in, for those who don't know, I'm coming to you from Auckland, New Zealand. So right now it is 9 p.m. in New Zealand on Sunday night. So welcome to the future. Coming in from India, from Spain, from Mexico. Nice one. Okay, what we'll do, we'll start getting underway soon because I think the room is filling up quite nicely. And we want to get into the program because we've got some wonderful guests joining us tonight. And we're going to be delving into some of their experiences, what they got into with the Urban Sketches Symposium. So yes, who's else there? Berlin, Brazil, Spain, fantastic. We are truly a global network. We are truly spread into as many corners of the globe you can think of. There is, we know that there's upwards of 450 plus chapters around the world. And so the ability for us to reach out through Instagram, through social media, is really exciting to be able to come to you live and to know that you're interested in this world of urban sketching that we all love, we all have a passion project for. So what I'm going to be doing, so the run of today, this session is around talking about the symposium. And we'll be talking to previous hosts of the symposium from the teams that have hosted before. It's a big deal. It's the premier event in the Urban Sketches calendar. And so we want to make sure that people know about the symposium, that people are familiar with how it's put together, and the idea that you can put your hand up as a chapter. You can just say, hey, email and say, we are thinking about having a symposium in our city, and we can help you make that dream come true. This dream of this, make it come true for you, your chapter, for all of us, for the global sketchers worldwide. And I think the way that we do this is this executive board is looking towards the future as we plan for future events and plan for the growth and development of the network and symposiums. But to do that, we want to look back at how these symposiums affected those people who worked on the teams, and we want to tell their stories. So tonight we've got 3 guests on tonight, and we'll be chatting to all of them at one by one and hearing from them and their journey. And so we'll get straight into it. What we'll do, the 3 guests, I'll introduce them all now, but we'll see them soon, is Patrick Ng from Singapore, and he and his team put together the 2015 Urban Sketches Symposium. That was an amazing time. I was very fortunate to be there myself. So 2015, and then 4 years later, we're going to be talking to Ruud Otten, who is from the Urban Sketches Symposium in Amsterdam in 2019. And so he's got himself an amazing story to tell and to share with everybody. And then 4 years after that, 2023, just last year, Murray Dewhurst, who was on the Auckland, New Zealand Symposium team, will be joining us to talk about his experience. So let's not get too deep into it right now. What I'll do is I'm going to invite to join me Patrick. Patrick, if you can find the record. And
Hello,
hey,
everybody.
there's Patrick coming in from Singapore.
Hi. Always nice to
It's great
hang
to
out
see you,
with you,
Patrick.
Eric, my bro from another mo.
My brother from another mother. Yes, this is what happens when you join with friends around the world, and you make new friends, and you make new family members. So this
Exactly.
is part of the network in action.
Friends for life.
So
You have brothers and sisters you never knew you had.
yeah,
That's so cool.
the family you choose can often be closer than the family you're given.
And hi, everybody who's online now. Thank you for taking time to tune in.
So Patrick, I can see behind you you've got a few bits of branding from the Singapore Symposium.
Yeah, we
So yeah, let's. Oh, look at that. Okay, so you got the logos, the fan, the placard.
yeah,
Um,
the fans here.
so yeah,
You know, when it comes to a place like Singapore for symposium, where there are only 2 seasons, hot and hotter,
I
this is a must-have
don't-
in a goodie bag.
that was yes, it was well used. I remember.
Yeah.
Yes. So Patrick, so if you can, we'd love for you to share some of your experiences and memories and reflections from 2015, or leading up to
Right.
and delivering the symposium. Um, yeah, so start off, I guess, in the lead up to the symposium, you would have had to pull together a team. Tell us about that, your local team.
Um, well, at that time, I think we heard news that the symposium team were thinking about having it head towards the Asia region, because up until then it was always in the West, right? Because it
Mm,
was in Portland, and
mm,
then it was in Parachi and some of these places like Brazil and all these. And so Madam Tia, who was our chapter founder, thought that, hey, this is a chance to not to be missed, right? So basically, she was looking for like a champion who could run this whole thing and within us. And so I don't know, wisely or foolishly put up my hand and say, okay, I guess I'll do it. And then, and then that's it. We put together a proposal and we threw it there. And I think one of the fortunate things that we experienced was we had a lot of backing from chapter admins from around our Asia region. And they were all excited to see Singapore win a bid to be able to host this. And well,
Nice.
as you could tell from history, we did win the bid by, and then and we're glad that we were able to do this. And so the lead up to it was I was new because up until then I've not been to any symposium myself. Right, and so a lot of guidance was needed, Madam Tia herself gave a lot of guidance because she had been to a few before that. And then, of course, we work very closely with the International Symposium team, right, comprising some EB members and some others who are regulars in the symposium team. And so there were a lot of back and forth, and we knew our role, right, as hosts. But we also know that there is a international symposium team that's actually in charge of putting together the program and all those things. But we as local hosts, we have local knowledge, and so we look into other things like, picking the locations for workshops and stuff like that. And so it was a very nice partnership, collaboration that they do their part because they know what's going on in the overall thing. And then we do our part because we have local knowledge. So it was a nice dance. We really appreciated having done that.
And so how many people were in your core local organizing committee?
Let me see. Maybe about 10 people in the core team. People who actually had like responsibilities and roles. Like volunteer management. We've got people in charge of looking for locations, right? And we've got people looking into sponsors. Actually, as organizer, I was also the person looking to gathering sponsors and things like that. PR, and then of course our online staff. Madam Tia herself took it upon herself to reach out to our National Arts Council and get some sponsorship from them. And I think we got something like $13,000 of sponsors from them, which helped us a lot because leading up to the whole thing, we had the seed money to be able to do things, right, to get the collaterals together and everything. So it's something to think about for future organizers.
So partnerships are, collaborations are crucial to getting
the core team,
leverage there.
Back to your question, the core team was about 10-ish, but of course we worked with volunteers from the subcommittees that it's something like that. Maybe 30-odd people.
Okay. And also 2015, that was the Singapore's Jubilee year.
Right.
Yeah, and so
which was one of the key reasons. That was one of the key reasons why we had wanted to host it, because that would have been a great year for people to be able to come, during our 50th nation building, Jubilee year, where the government was pouring in a lot of stuff for tourism and everything. And so and then we pitched this to them, and we got the grant, I think, in part because the government liked the idea that over 400, I think, sketches are going to come from all over the world and be able to sample and then show Singapore, during its Jubilee year. So that was really perfect timing.
Well, it was. I mean, it was perfect timing, but also strategically very clever to align all of those things. And so, there's quite a bit of forethought for that. I just wonder in the audience, maybe you can send up some hearts if you were actually in 2015 in the Singapore Symposium. Anybody out in the audience were there? I mean, I was there. That was my first symposium that I attended.
I was there.
And you were there. So so there's no hearts coming through. So that means there's a couple of hearts come through, which but that means there's a whole new audience out there to experience,
Mm. Yeah,
symposiums, or they've joined after, because we've been going for 11
yeah.
symposiums now. It's quite extraordinary. Okay, well, what about some sort of challenges that you faced in the build-up, and even challenges during the symposium?
Um, yeah, challenges. I think there were plenty. Most of it actually is logistical, right? And Singapore being the metropolitan city that it
Mm,
is, or it was even back then, places were difficult to book. And if we want to get places where we could host a big group of people,
mm,
they tend to come very expensive. Yeah. But we were able to mitigate some of these things because they gave us National Design Center,
yeah,
near NDC, sorry, near Bugis. Some of you who've come to Singapore, you will probably know about Bugis, so it's a mixture of
yeah,
old and new. So that's the area we had chosen to do the symposium at, and the National Design Center was right there. And I think they
mm-mm,
were on board too, and because of that, I think they gave us a really big discount.
nice,
And
nice,
because it's to some degree, giving them great publicity because it's coming and streaming out of that place and everything.
yeah, yeah,
And so it sort of worked out too because of that. And uh, other things were like scheduling issues, like we've had to make changes to a few workshops
yeah. Okay,
and their
okay,
locations, and studios and
yeah,
and teaching rooms were not that easy,
mm,
but
mm-mm.
we were able to find alternatives, and
Okay,
so
so yeah,
logistical mostly the thing, because
okay,
not so
so
much the
the
team, because
logistics,
the team is really tight.
yeah, nice. I mean, that's crucial. Yeah, so you were a had a team, so you're agile enough to be able to respond
That's
to the
right.
challenges, and
Yeah,
find solutions on the go,
yeah,
and that sort
and
of
it's helpful to have people in your core team, in the organizing team, who are well connected, right?
yeah,
And so one example was, I think Jane, I think Rob had needed to teach a digital sessions, and so therefore he needs, like a little bit of a more enclosed space with no light, pollution and
mm-mm,
everything.
yeah,
And in NDC, the space that we gather at is kind of bright and it's kind of noisy. And so we had to switch him up to someplace else. Long story short is that we had almost had to change it with another workshop instructor, but that
yeah.
didn't pan out. And because of that, but because somebody
Okay,
was connected to the National Library, we were able
yeah,
to go up to the premium, conference room, and ended up, he had a
yeah.
much better place to teach than original
Nice,
plan for.
nice.
So yeah, that kind of, yeah. So these were some of
Okay,
the
yeah,
challenges,
that's
and
great.
then
So
challenges like
that's
keeping
really
some. Sorry.
that's a really good lesson for those who are thinking about it. It's like you said, to network within your chapter, because everyone's professionals and got jobs, or history, and then they've got networks to leverage from. So
Mhm.
the ability to just find that sort of network to get that venue, I think that's crucial all the time, because everyone's well connected.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
Okay. The going back to the team scenario, the team that you pulled together, um, going through this sort of project, challenges, of course, but I guess it develops a level of camaraderie.
absolutely, yeah. And that's not to say that it was always smooth sailing, right? Just with anything and any group of people who are passionate about something, there will be difference of opinions, as you
Yeah,
work together and things like that. So, were
yeah,
there friction sometimes? Were there stepping on toes? Absolutely, right. But one good thing that we came out of this was, on the get go, as I was gathering the team, and I communicated to the team that, hey, this is really not about us individually. This is about us collectively, right? And so everybody shared that same vision of making this happen.
Nice.
And it's not about me. It's not about whether my opinion gets,
Yeah.
heard or gets activated, or things like that, or rolled out. But we always give people opportunities to share what they thought, but then when the decision was made, everybody was on board with it.
Yeah.
And so, yes, definitely it did a great thing for us because that team that came together, or at least most of the people in that team that came together to put together this symposium that we had, ended up becoming the core team, the core leadership team of Singapore Urban Sketches Singapore. Yeah, because there was, we literally almost, what do you call that? Metaphorically, fought in the trenches together, dealt with problems and issues, dealt with problem people, and all these things. We fought together, and so we had a level of trust that came from that. And because of that, we were able to work together really well as a chapter because of the same people working there.
Wow,
So it's another one good reason to take on something like this. In my talks, when I was vice president and I was membership director, when I had gone and had the opportunity to talk to people about growing our chapters, one of the things that I always put up as a key point is to have and work on big projects together, because there's nothing that tells your team like taking on something that's beyond bigger than yourself. Right, and then and then see yourself overcome that, and then you leveled up together as a team.
Yeah. Okay. So we've gone back prior to symposium, during, and then after symposium. You said that the core team built strong bonds, and so did you do other things after symposium? You've done other larger events.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did multiple projects. 10 by 10. We did other kind of workshops, series of workshops, and we've together also worked with government agencies, to do national projects of sorts, right? And so many things. Yeah, that was a real big. That was the what was that?
The springboard.
Diving platform. Springboard. That's the word I was looking for. And that was a springboard for many of such things in the years to come. Yeah. But once we've done the symposium, we feel like all these other things are, we have a word called Kuching Kura, which means it's they are nothing, compared to, Once you have the symposium under your belt, so to speak.
So it gave you a level of confidence and to take on other challenges, and everything thereafter was less daunting.
Yeah, less daunting is the word.
Yeah. That's nice.
Thank you. You're finding the words that I can't find today.
That's right. Oh, that's awesome. That's because that was my first symposium to attend, and I loved it, and I've been on board ever since, and that was 8 years ago, and
I actually have let me see, if you don't mind. I have proof of Eric being there.
Yes.
I think this was
yeah.
Oh man, give me a second. There you go.
This is what happens.
That's
Eric
right there.
That's me.
Young Eric. And the cool thing about this is, in this picture, we don't see there are 3 future executive board members there. There's Rita Sabler, there's Peggy, there's you, right? And so that was interesting.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Oh, well, that's brilliant. That's special. That's a special photo. Thank you. Okay. What I'll do now, I think we've any other last thoughts on your time, just to share yourself. You told me earlier there was you were able to, with the funding, you're able to give a scholarship to some worthy students.
That's right. Let me. So I've come prepared. Oh, Nope, this is not the one. It was right there. Just give me a second, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. There. So if you can see this girl with a red back and a friend. Yeah, these two girls, together with one other guy who has been sketching with us, student, we were able to sponsor them because of some of the additional funding that we got prior. And you know, these were girls who are from a halfway house or a recovery house, who they were girls who have been abused, you know, and then they have to stay in this place to get well and get better. You know, it's a place that gives them safety and everything. And so they would not have been able to what do you call that? Afford, you know, a symposium full workshop ticket, right? And so being able to be in a position to give them some of the scholarship, and they had a lot of interest, and they've shown a lot of talent and interest in sketching. So being able to give back this way, you know, and benefit some of these students and children, they were great.
Wow, that's special. That is special.
Yeah,
that's transformational.
It was, yeah, and one of them, the guy who's not in this picture, went on to become an illustrator that's really known for his thing, and a lot of government agencies, and he's now doing like art illustration for environmental stuff.
That's the great
very
story.
sought after artists in this area. Yeah,
so that is a great story. And so so the symposium was part of the stepping stones for these young artists to better their life. It's literally better their life.
That's right.
Wow.
So if there's any last words, and all I wanted to say, if any one of you ever even had a thought to want to do this, I would say throw the head over the fence. Worry about the how later on, you know, because there is an international symposium team that's going to come alongside, guide you, support you, right? And then and you can always get help. Like during our time, we were new to it, and Alvin Wong, who'd been, you know, involved in a few other things, he was very excited, and he came and he helped up, even though he was not from Singapore, right? And we've become pals since then. And so, yeah, I would say do it, because it will do your chapter, you know, and it will do your chapter great.
Hey, listen, that's some brilliant thoughts to end this conversation on. Right now, I'm going to thank you for your time, Patrick.
Thanks.
I'll switch to a new guest, but I'll call you back in later on towards the end of the program.
Sure. Look forward to hearing from the rest.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time. Great thoughts.
Thanks.
I'm going to let you out of the room.
Okay.
And thank you. See you, Pat. Wow. Great memories there, and something that was just the transformational moments. We're moving ahead now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Ruud Otten, who's should be in the list, and there you are. I'm going to invite you into the room. Ruud was the Urban Sketches Amsterdam on the team for the symposium in Amsterdam 2019. You can find us then. There you are.
Hi, Eric.
Ruud.
Good to see you. I'm missing New Zealand so much. Hello, everyone.
Listen, it just seems like yesterday that you were with us, and to be fair, for me, because I was at the 2019 symposium at Amsterdam, it just feels like just a short memory that I was there sketching with you guys in the heat wave.
The heat wave. It was the hottest symposium ever in the Netherlands. Who would have expected that? We didn't expect it. It was extremely hot. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So let's cast our minds back to that time, and even before 2019, your team was thinking about putting together a bid for the putting a proposal. And so, what was the journey before the symposium for you and your team?
Yeah, well, within the team there were some suggestions to apply for the symposium. And at first, I was not really up to the idea. But yeah, at some point we got more enthusiastic thinking about it, and we were like, okay, let's try to get the symposium. And we did not really expect to get the symposium at the first
Okay.
application that we would do.
Right.
We
Right.
saw it as kind of a rehearsal. But we got it, and that was before the Porto Symposium, which was before us.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we learned that we would organize a symposium, and yeah, we at from that moment on, we were, building ideas, gathering
Mm-mm.
information, and trying to get started with a small team.
Yeah. So how big was your team, or how small was your team?
Our team well, the core team was about 10 people. So the
Mm-hmm.
same size as Pat indicated. And
Mm-hmm.
we basically organized online meetings, but also on location meetings in Amsterdam, because we are a national chapter. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's maybe different than some cities that organize, local chapters that organize a symposium.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so we had already a core team from all over the country, people that we knew already from our growing national
Yeah.
chapter. So we gathered in Amsterdam,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
each core team member got a focus area, so to say, like sketch walks, workshops, volunteer coordinator, and
Yeah.
so we had we basically shared the work as a team.
Yes. Great. Yep. That's crucial. It's too big of a job for one or even two people alone, and this is part of
Yeah,
the reality
yeah,
of urban sketches where everyone's a volunteer.
exactly. Exactly, yeah, and it's we found people that we knew we could trust, and that they
Mm,
would go for it,
mm,
like Anna Roos, who made all the designs of, for instance, with our famous Aaron Adam.
yeah. Yes.
The people who have been to Amsterdam might remember him, and he's also on the bag, of course, on the goodie bag. So to some memories for the people who have been
Ah, yes.
to
Yes,
Amsterdam,
the heron.
the Heron.
Yeah.
So
Nice one.
yeah, that's amazing, and of course Adam has been helping the team as well. Become one team and
Yeah.
start fantasizing about Adam and all his adventures that he would undertake in Amsterdam.
So that was the build-up time. You're putting the team together, delegating work streams, jobs, and so forth, and then of course we come to the symposium itself,
Yeah,
um, and it was a big symposium. Do you remember the numbers
yeah. It
attending?
was. I think if I remember well, we had about 800
Mm,
ticketed participants, but we were asked to make it bigger because it was the 10th symposium.
yeah.
So the estimation, because there were also open activities to people who did not have a ticket.
Yes.
And a lot of people came to Amsterdam actually, and we estimate that between 1,200 and 1,500
That's
urban sketches from all
extraordinary.
over the world were
Yeah.
in the city center of Amsterdam.
Wow.
So you could see them everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
that was amazing to see, and that's how you also build up to, you are working on the symposium,
Mm,
meeting deadlines. Sometimes it can be stressful, especially when things have to come together. And
mm, mm,
but as
mm.
long as you keep on working as a team and support each other, try to listen to each other's, stories, and help each
Yeah.
other, you know that they will come, and that's what you also always try to, you know, let the team focus on. Focus
Yeah.
on the symposium when that moment will be there.
Yeah.
Seeing all those urban sketches coming to your city, and you have done it for them and for yourself, and the brothership that you encounter, and the friendships That's amazing. It's an amazing feeling once the symposium is there,
Nice,
and seeing all the
nice.
people coming into the city. It's amazing.
That's extra. So that was 2019, and you still remember the euphoria, the anxiety, the stress, but also the exuberant excitement.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And also after the symposium, it is you make friend at the symposium. You make new friends for life.
Mm-mm.
You meet old friends from previous symposiums if you've been to a previous
Yeah,
symposium. And I remember that my first symposium was 2016 in Manchester. And that was also and the symposium in Chicago. We basically had those two in mind.
mm-mm.
You get inspiration from previous symposium hosts, and then
Yeah,
we went to Porto and announced there. It was announced that Amsterdam would be the next symposium.
yeah.
So you try to
Okay.
basically suck up all the things that you see happening.
Yeah.
The symposium before you know that you will organize it, and you keep your
Mm-mm.
eyes and ears open on, okay,
Mm.
how did they do this? You look with a different view at the symposium
Yeah.
from that moment on. So yeah,
Okay.
all of that is
Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
So how did all of that transpire to, the symposium period of time? I
Mhm.
guess there were issues to deal with on the go. Things had to be resolved.
Yes.
Anything to share around, solutions on the day?
Yes. Well, at first, things that our main how do you say that challenge up before the symposium was to find a venue because we are a
Mm-hmm.
national chapter. You don't have as many people who have actually contacts in the city.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that you start looking for. That is your venue because it's most important. Once you have that, everything becomes more clear and you can really start planning,
Yeah.
for the symposium on the spot. And
Yeah.
we,
Okay.
Anna Roos had someone who she knew in the city who suggested to her in the end, the Zuiderkerk, the church that
Yeah.
Rembrandt even went to. And that was a big relief because in Amsterdam there are so many tourists, you don't get any funding from the government. They are like, okay,
Yeah.
here is the list of possible venues, but you can find them on the internet as well and from the ones that you already know. So there's nothing
Wow.
really new there. So that was a big challenge for us.
Interesting.
And in
Okay.
the end, the Zuiderkerk was an amazing venue, a
Yes.
historical building, knowing that Rembrandt went to church there. Even one of his children was buried there. So with that history
Mm-mm.
and all the art enthusiasts and
Mm.
urban sketchers coming to the Zuiderkerk is of course, a good fit. So that was our biggest challenge. And once we had that, everything seemed to be more easy.
Yeah.
You could start making things
Mm.
real and really plan them. Uh, During
And
the
and then of
symposium,
course, yeah. During I was just going to say they mentioned the heat
yeah,
wave.
because that
What?
was your question. The heat wave, that was our biggest challenge, of course. Keeping people hydrated, reminding them each morning in the briefing, like, okay, make sure you hydrate, you drink a lot of water,
Yeah.
stay in the shade, and that went well. We had some people that got dehydrated. We
Mm.
also said in the morning briefing to the volunteers, look out for people who seem disorientated
Yeah.
or don't look well. And actually, we
Nice.
had one person, we had to lie her down in a room, and we got her hydrated pretty
Okay.
soon again.
Okay.
But also, you should not cool someone too fast, not give
Yes.
too much water,
Yes.
because that can be dangerous as well. So we
Yes.
instructed the volunteers
I see.
about it. So that was basically our biggest challenge. Yes.
Wow. That's extraordinary. Yeah. So quite things happen. You can't control
Yeah.
the weather. Things
Yeah.
happen. You just have to
Yeah.
respond. Yeah. That's
You have to
extraordinary.
respond and
Yeah,
see what you, because we did not expect, and of course in the days up before the symposium, you already start looking up how should we act if something like
yeah,
this happens,
yeah.
because initially we did not prepare for 40 degrees Celsius. So the last couple of
Yeah,
days when it became clear that it would be really hot, we started
yeah.
looking up
Okay,
information and asking around for information on
yeah,
what we
okay,
should do if people get dehydrated. Yeah.
okay. So you mentioned you were briefing your volunteers in the mornings for dehydration and so forth. And so how did you go about sourcing all of your volunteers? How many did you have?
We had about 65 volunteers from all over the country, and also volunteers from Urban Sketches Belgium,
Yeah,
because we are brothers and sisters.
nice.
And yeah, they helped us out as well, a couple of them. And well, we basically asked people openly, please apply to be a volunteer, subscribe, and we will get in contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they could also indicate what areas of interest, what kind of task they would like to do
Mm,
during the symposium. So
okay,
they could choose from
okay.
a couple of options. So we try to put people in places and in tasks that
Yeah,
would fit their
okay.
interests,
Nice.
and that
Okay,
went
so you've
very
got,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, we got all the volunteers that we needed.
Well, like I said, it was a big symposium, so you need a lot of volunteers. And so, I
Absolutely.
mean, everyone was sketching in the heat wave, but also the volunteers were also in the heat wave. How did they
Yes,
cope with it?
tremendously well. They were so motivated. Some were really tired at the end of the day, but the next morning they were there again, and some decided to go sleep a bit earlier because of the heat wave. Of course, it's also hot, and well, not having air conditioning in all the hotel rooms, and
Yeah,
so people already also had to adapt that a night's sleep would not be as good as it usually is. And
right,
then
yes,
each morning they were motivated again, coming to the morning briefing, and yeah, basically Marleen giving them instructions
yeah,
about what to expect for the day. And it was really an atmosphere of,
mm,
okay, let's do this, let's
yeah,
go. And yeah, they did tremendously well. And
that's
they,
great, yeah,
well, we had no issues actually with the heat with the volunteers.
okay,
They kept hydrated, and they also made sure that people stayed in the shade and were not too long in the sun.
yes. Wow, that's, yeah, so yeah, the challenges of the symposium, let alone just the art, but the running of the symposium is many work streams and many things that can arise. But phew, through brainstorming together, through planning,
Yeah.
through working with the local team, with the international team, with the sponsors, then you dragged it across the line and you made memories forever.
Yes. And that's for the participants. We got a lot of reactions, of course,
Yeah,
afterwards,
yeah,
during the symposium, and also for the volunteers and for the
nice.
organizing local team. That was, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
Once the symposium is
yeah,
over, you got this feeling like we did this.
yeah,
It all went well,
yeah,
and at some point, the danger is that you. Uh, it's also a good thing, but it's also sometimes stressful because when you're organizing and you're in it, you're really focused, and
mm,
you want to the tiniest details you want to be right,
mm,
and sometimes a little thing goes not as you planned it, and then you have to adapt, and yeah, that's
yeah.
it was really an atmosphere of let's do this. I I
Awesome. That's
remember when we
yeah,
opened the door of the Zuiderkerk, when people were waiting outside, doing the
yes,
last preparations, and at some point we were like checking with the coordinators: Are you ready? Are you ready? Are we
yeah,
ready? Yes, open the gates, and
yes, yes.
then all the participants come in. It was an amazing moment.
Ah, nice one. Hey, listen, that's a really good thought to finish our conversation on right now. Um, you made it through, and it was exciting, and you're still you know, learning so much from it as well, and carrying it
Absolutely.
forward.
Absolutely.
I think that's,
And it
nice one.
like Pat says, it helps to develop your chapter as
Yeah,
well. You know,
yeah,
within
yeah,
your area or your country, you see that that it even grows faster
yes.
up to, you know, in the months before the symposium, but also after the symposium.
Nice one. Okay, so the ripples carry on
Yeah,
thereafter
yeah,
of
absolutely,
energy.
absolutely.
Yes. Okay. All right, Ruud, fantastic. What a journey.
Great.
Okay, I'm gonna I'll call you back in later on, but I'll let you out
Yes.
of the room right now.
See you
Thanks
later.
for coming, joining us, and we'll see you soon. Okay. Wow. Yeah. From Amsterdam, and it was a heat wave. But I guess the got through, and you made it through together, and also you made it through, further on, carried on after that as well. So we've gone 2015, 2019, now 2023. What I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Murray Dewhurst in my list, and Murray was on the organising committee for the Auckland Symposium, and let's see if Murray's out there. Come in, Murray. See if you can join me in the room. Hey, there's Murray. All right.
Hey, Eric.
How's things? How's it going?
Good, good.
Good, good. And I can see you've got a nice little light blue T-shirt going on there. What's up with that? Hey, there's the Kiwi mascot,
Manu the Kiwi.
Manu the Kiwi, which for people who don't know, the whole branding and visual and look and feel for that symposium, Murray was the graphic designer for that. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel pretty good now the work's done. No, it was pretty satisfying to do something outside of my usual design work. It is not for a client. It's not for another organisation. It's something that is my passion project, I guess. Something personal.
Yes.
That was pretty satisfying. And to bring the branding together on all of those materials, the banners, the programs, the
Nice.
and all that kind of thing. Yeah, just to see that consistency.
Wow. So that's where the passion project and the professional practice have joined, and
together.
you made this thing. Yeah. Nice one. So for Auckland, there was a bit of a journey for Auckland in terms of the timing. Any reflections on those couple of years?
Yeah.
That went through.
Yeah. No, the biggest thing for me we had that amazing kind of creative phase where we're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's put a pitch in for the Urban Sketches Symposium. That'd be so cool. Imagine, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, there's no way we'd ever get that. But and then you get it, you're awarded it, and you're like, God, we've done it. But then COVID comes along and totally comes and stuffs it up, and then you've got a year or so where you think, oh, it may never happen. So really my focus had gone a bit off it. I don't know about you, but focus went off it, and then suddenly we got the announcement we did have it. And that certainly focused the mind a little bit, brought the mind back to the project that we'd been looking for.
And so how many in the New Zealand Local Organising Committee?
Good question. 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Yeah, the core team.
Core team. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was something really unknown to me was how we'd do it and who would do it. But I think that when that announcement went out to New Zealand, there were a lot of people sitting on the fringes who maybe hadn't even joined us for our regular sketch meets, and some who had. But I think it brought a lot of people out of the wings who'd maybe been watching, and it piqued their interest. And they started to turn up at events, and numbers grew a little bit. We had a healthy number anyway, but a few more turned up, and a few more got jobs, and eventually this nice little team that had been sucked into our
into the regular Zoom meetings. So one thing I reflect on actually, as I was just talking to Ruud, was his one was 2019 and Auckland was 2023. In between that time, Zoom became a tool.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we couldn't have done it without that. So, I feel for those guys back in the old days, Ruud and Pat, and the symposium teams going back that far. But it was pretty handy, wasn't it?
Yeah. So and I guess what you said, the euphoria of winning the bid, and then the realization that we've got it now, we've got to do it.
Yeah.
And so that was a journey in itself, an emotional journey in itself. But you said, I think the other two reflected on it as well. But it's a big job. But as the big job, how was your the approach? The step by step.
Yeah, definitely a step by step thing. Initially, it was kind of a feeling, a gut feeling of, oh my God, how are we going to actually do this? But you get into a pace. Those weekly meetings with the International Symposium team and our weekly meetings with our local one, and you just chip away at the jobs, draw a line through each little job, and before you know it happens, and you've done it.
It happens.
It's not any incredible experience or funding or massive team. You don't need a big team of people. Just need a core team of people who are focused and want to bring this thing to life.
Yeah. So that journey, then we think about the planning, and then we think about the symposium itself. So when it in New Zealand, in your hometown, and the participants are coming in. So any reflections on those 4 days?
Yeah. Yes, quite a few really. But the first one was just, like Ruud just mentioned before, seeing those smiling faces coming through the door, that euphoric feeling of, oh, wow, it's really happening. People really have come to the bottom of the planet to draw with you. That's amazing. And for people who don't know, New Zealand had a couple of big cyclones in the months before, massive floods and that kind of thing. I was for a long time worried that would turn people off, or maybe it might be raining on the event week, and I thought how terrible that would be. But that week, weather was pretty good. All I saw was smiling faces, but there was one day, it was pretty windy, got pretty wet out there, and I was at the AUT at the symposium headquarters, and was coming in from the morning workshops, and I saw people with the kind of hair wet and matted across their face and a bit bedraggled, and everybody was so happy. And it's one of those things where you think something like that might actually ruin an event, but I think the thing is everybody comes, they've come to have a good time, they've come to join with like-minded people and do the thing they love. So it could have been raining all week, and I think people would have loved it.
Yeah. Okay, so thinking about now the Kiwi, Manu the Kiwi mascot. Of course, the Kiwi is the national icon of New Zealand. But the word manu, that's a Māori word.
Māori word for bird.
Yeah. Yes. And then the cultural parts that were put into the program. Any recollection of that?
Yeah. That was I think what made New Zealand a bit unique. And in early days of thinking about the event, I would wonder in my mind what would be an attraction to visitors. And New Zealand's got this, it's a beautiful natural country. It's not renowned for architecture sculpture and built heritage, because it's a new country, relatively new country. And having been to the Singapore Symposium before, I know the event happens in one, usually somewhere near the centre of town. And I thought, how would people react to a reasonably small city? But people seem to enjoy that. But I think that the opening of the AUT Kapahaka group, that was great. People really felt something a bit different. And I was standing behind Ruud actually at that moment, and he turned to me and he said, "Hey, you've got culture. You've got real culture." And I was, because the world you think of Europe as having culture, or other parts of the world, not yourself, but you do. You have it, and there's something appealing within your nation or your city that you just have to tap into that, and we'll appreciate it.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought. Yeah. So the next one is the just after the symposium. The local team carried on, and what was the energy like?
Yeah, there was a real buzz, wasn't there? And still is, I think. We've got bigger turnouts. We've stepped up, doubled the sketch meetings, and we've been invited to a few things as a result. I think the CEO of Eden Park, if anyone's a rugby fan, they'll know Eden Park, and it's the venue for all the All Blacks, a lot of All Blacks matches. We got invited to come and draw some Super Rugby, and that sort of thing's kind of a pretty nice spin-off. That was because the CEO had seen a whole lot of sketches in the park. Thought, what are these guys up to? This is interesting. Yeah.
Great. That's great. Yeah, great spin-offs. So I guess, I think that's a journey from the setup prior, then the challenges during, the texture of the culture added to it, made it pretty special. Yeah. So you're still, it just feels like yesterday that we were at the hub and
it was like one of our
talking with the volunteers,
with the international team, talking about what everyone should be doing, and
nice one. Awesome, Murray. That's great recollection there. I hope the viewers out there have been able to pick up, the energy, that goes on to get one of these symposiums across the line, and the bits that you don't think about that are just amazingly positive. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to let you out of the room, and I'll call you back in a minute. But I want to, So thanks, Murray. Awesome. I'll thanks, and we'll see you. Great. Wow, great. 3 guests. There's something special at each symposium, and this one we're just having a 15-minute conversation. But how much more could we delve into? If we had more time. I'm going to invite Patrick back into the room, just for some final thoughts. And are you there, Patrick? Can you join me now? And you're back.
Yeah, lovely thoughts from all of them.
Yeah. So sort of same but different.
I know.
In terms of the journey, but different things.
Right? Yeah. It's like the same thing, but yet, each host that, put it together, you experience similar things, but in such unique ways.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. Yeah, that's great. I guess it's a metaphor for what our sketches are. Everyone could be sketching the same object, but they're all different on the page.
Precisely. That's right.
Yeah, great metaphor. Okay, so any last thoughts to share with the viewers out there about a symposium, hosting a symposium? What do you think?
I would say a lot of, maybe from what I heard of, having the opportunity to talk to various chapter leaders all over Asia and also even outside Asia, when I broached the subject about, hey, have you ever considered, organizing one? It's like the first reaction we get is, oh no, that's beyond us, or things like that. Yeah. The truth is that it just feels that way. Yeah, and it will be beyond you until it is not.
Oh,
So,
words
right?
of wisdom.
Yeah, because it's not a standalone kind of thing. Yeah, but of course it
Yeah,
helps a lot if the chapter has got a healthy culture going
yeah,
on when things are if you are tight as a team in normal time, right?
yeah.
Times, then it puts you in a very good, better stead, so to speak. To be able to maybe take on
Nice
something
one.
big.
Nice one.
So that's that, and I think yeah, but it's definitely worth the taking that quote unquote risk,
Mm,
and
mm,
throw the head over the fence and say
mm.
let's just see what can come out of it, right?
Yeah,
And so,
yeah,
in any case, right, when you put out your proposals for your city to be, a host, it may or may not get picked, but uh, but that's not to say that oh, then you're not ready for that, because if you're not picked,
yeah.
then maybe you are sort of second or third in line for consideration, right? And
Sure,
maybe, I
sure.
don't know, the symposium team, the events team, could reach out and work together with you a little bit on getting your proposal to be, more likely to be picked. Yeah. But I think,
Nice one. Nice
as
one.
far as a venue is concerned, I think every city has the potential, and every
Mm,
city, is definitely, a worthy place for hosting a symposium, because each city has their own
love it.
subculture, each
Yep,
city has
yep.
their own kind of beauty, and I think the
Mm-mm.
symposium is one of the best ways for us, a global a movement like us, Urban Sketches,
Yep,
to be able to help one another meet
yep.
together, and see the whole world one city at a time, so to speak. So
Nice one. Nice
don't
one.
shortchange yourself, and then also don't
Yeah,
what do you call that? Don't make us miss out just
yeah.
because you're so worried that you may not be picked or anything like that. Throw it in, and
Love it.
you never know what will happen.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great, great words there from Pat. Thanks very much. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
doing this.
it,
You did a great job. Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna let you out of the room, and I'll
right.
bring back in Ruud. Awesome stuff,
Yeah.
Pat. Cheers. Yeah. How about that? About it's um it's too big until it's not. And where's Ruud? I'm going to bring back Ruud just for some last thoughts on hosting the symposium. If you can, Ruud, sir,
Back
welcome back.
again. I
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. Couple of final thoughts that you want to share
Yeah,
to the
sure,
viewers out there about
sure.
symposium.
Yeah. Well, uh, I would say don't focus on details right in the beginning. Start building a team first, a core team. I remember that with Gail Howard, it was the two of us starting at first. How are we going to organize this team-wise? And
Yeah,
try to involve and ask people that you know already, and that you think you can rely on,
yeah,
and then it all will work out. And focus as the coordinating team on trusting people, because once you get to involve more people, trust the others, and also be open to new ideas
mm,
from the team, because then the team really feels like this is our thing. We
yeah,
do this together, and I can put a little bit of myself in it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also be ready to explain why things can happen and why
yeah.
some things cannot happen,
Sure.
and focus on that when you are coordinating, and trust on the journey. Enjoy the
Oh, nice.
journey,
Yeah,
although there will be highs and lows, but trust that the journey will bring you there. And really, in the last half a year, 3 months maybe, everything comes together, and trust that. As long as you keep going, you will get there. And before you know it, like Murray says, before you know it, the symposium is there and you're doing it. And
Yeah.
before you know it, it's over and you did it. And that's the reward. It's really worth it. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I would
Love
say.
it. I love it. Go for it. Go for it. Trust the journey. Trust each other. Build it together as a team.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice words. Thanks very much, Ruud, from Amsterdam.
Thank you. My
All
pleasure.
right.
See you
I'm going to see you out of the room,
later.
but thanks very much for joining.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Well, words of wisdom being laid down. Are you picking that up? Are you picking up what they're laying down? I love it. Okay, on final words here, I'm going to invite Murray Dewhurst from Auckland back into the room for some final words of wisdom. What's words of wisdom you can share with us as we end the program today?
Well, that's pretty hard to follow. There's some great advice there, I reckon. I would say one thing though is there's nothing like a deadline to focus a group, to galvanize a group together and make it happen. Once you, it might seem a bit bizarre, but you soon know who's really into it and wants to make it happen, and they'll all work with you. Trust your team, and you'd be amazed what you can do. And then so just go for it. Put that application in.
Yeah.
Do it now. Do it this week. But yeah.
Nice one. Nice thoughts. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Murray. That's amazing.
Real people doing kind of something like a once in a lifetime event. It's really
It is. Yeah, it is once in a lifetime. It really is.
that's right.
Okay. Before I let you out of the room, how about you show us the T-shirt again, Manu the Kiwi, because Manu's so cool. Look at that. Manu, he's awesome.
A few versions of Manu.
Yes. Yeah. Paintbrush Manu. You had a cycling Manu. Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. Awesome. Well, kia ora to that, Murray.
Kia ora.
I'm going to let you out of the room. Thanks very much for joining us and sharing your experience.
No worries at all, and good luck to you people out there thinking about hosting a symposium. Go for it.
Go for it. Meant for all of you out there to think about a symposium, think about hosting, build a team, go for it. Trust in the journey. We're going to get there. We come to the end of the night now. That was amazing. That was amazing. I'm going to show you what we're looking at, which is the big pencil. Have your name put in here into the pencil box. This is the giant pencil that you'll be able to hold as the host of the symposium, of the Urban Sketches Symposium. The giant pencil travels around the world from symposium host to host. And so hopefully I'll be able to see lots of you in Buenos Aires in October. You'll see the pencil there. If you're not in Buenos Aires in October, then maybe you're putting in a bid to be the next symposium host in your city, somewhere around the world that we can sketch together and sketch this world one drawing at a time together. On that note, team, thanks very much for joining us on this Instagram Live with Urban Sketches. My name's Eric Ngan. I'm the event director for Urban Sketches. It's been a pleasure having you all here, and I'm going to wish you all a good night. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. Thank you. Hearts. Love it. Thanks very much for coming.